right, so it's Holy Week, and we've been talking about our old friend Uncle Jesus all week, and what some of the things that have been on my mind recently. And yesterday, I was talking about the fact that when God speaks, two things are happening. One is God is speaking, and the other is people are hearing, and what we get is what people heard. And we have to kind of figure that out, and that makes the laws of the Jews very particular to the Jews. And I was thinking that you could sort of deduce from that, you could say, well, isn't God speaking to everybody through all of nature, so aren't all religions a path to God? No, only my religion is a path to God. Yours is going to get you sent to hell. No, I'm joking. But I was thinking about this in relationship to Buddhism, and not because I dislike Buddhism, but because I like it very much. I practiced Zen for many years. It was incredibly helpful. The meditations focused my mind. I remember I have no shot in basketball. I never have had a shot. They used to send me in basketball in high school. They used to send me just to foul people because I was bigger than everybody else, but I had no shot. But when I was meditating, doing Zen meditation, I became really good at waste paper basketball, and I would win bets, and I would have all these quarters in my pocket because I would be winning at the radio station where I was working for. So I really like it. And but there came a point when I sort of the beauty of it went past me, or I went past it, and I began to feel that sitting meditating was like being dead. And one of the things about the Buddhist philosophy is it is an attempt to achieve happiness by letting go of desire. The idea is that life is suffering, that you suffer because you desire things and you hate other things. You have aversion to other things. And if you can let go of your desires and your aversions, then the changing passage of time and the things that happen to you don't affect you anymore, and you are elevated above suffering. And the idea here also is that you have no self, so the self is really not a permanent thing, and you're trying to hold on to the self, let it go. And so it actually was a little bit like being dead, because you are letting go of the self. And I started to think, I'll let go of myself when I'm dead, but that now I have desires. I have things that I desire, and I'm willing to suffer for those desires because it seems to me that I was made with a purpose. I have a purpose inside me, a path inside me, and I want to express that path. And I didn't know that was putting me on the path to Christianity, but I really do believe it was, because Jesus's attitude was a little different. He did say things like, if you lose yourself, you'll find yourself, although the word there is a very complicated word. It means self and soul and life. So sometimes they translate it, if you lose your life, you'll find your life. And he said, take up your cross, deny yourself, take up your cross and follow me. And so he actually isn't telling you to rise above suffering. He's telling you almost to embrace suffering, but embrace suffering in following him and following the logos, embodied logos of the world. And this is much more in keeping with the kind of Western way of finding joy through virtue, by finding joy by doing things according to their purposes. So for instance, I'm a writer. I write stories. If I sit down and write stories, and I've done this from time to time, where just thinking, I'm going to make a lot of money with this story. The story gives me no joy. Now, the story may be great. I mean, if Shakespeare wrote plays just to make money, some people think he did. I doubt it. But if he did write plays, he'd still be Shakespeare. But he wouldn't have joy. I sit down to write, and always I try to write the most beautiful, most exciting, most delightful thing that I can write. I'm always in the story itself, not thinking about the money until it's time to sell the book. And then it's time to think about the money. But the book has been created in joy, in virtue. And that, I think, is closer to what Jesus was saying when he said, take up your cross and follow me. Because if you have your desires and you follow your desires, you're going to fail. You're going to lose. You're going to suffer. If you live as a person, as an actual human, you're going to feel the pain and sadness of the world. You are not going to rise above it. You're not going to be a Buddhist at peace with everything. You are going to cry out from the cross from time to time, my God, why have you forsaken me? And that, to me, is what Jesus called life in abundance. And that is a very different way to live. And you can see it in the different attitudes of the Buddhists who are looking for peace. They're looking for placidity. You look at their societies, that's kind of what they hold up. And we hold up this kind of action, determination, achievement, building things, making things. it has not. I'm not condemning the society, and I'm certainly not condemning Buddhism. I'm simply saying that it is a different path, and it leads you to a different place. And for me, the Christianity is clearly the life in abundance that I'm looking for.